G'day guys, I wanted to go over our SoftWash equipment here at Blue Tongue Industries, and I wanted to talk to you and run you through the setup and operation of this Tsunami SoftWash piece of equipment that we have available. I'll put links below where this equipment can be found. Check out all our other videos, and if you like this video, please subscribe on our YouTube channel, which is Blue Tongue Industries. So this particular piece of equipment comes in different configurations. This particular gas-powered system, Honda and P40, you can talk to us about different configurations, whether it's a P36 or coming shortly as well, the AR pumps. This particular Honda has a comfort pack, electric start, can also be pull start. We'll start with the hose fittings and we'll work our way through the whole system, and we'll give you guys a good understanding of what is available now in Australia with our SoftWash equipment here at Blue Tongue Industries. Hose we've had custom made especially for us with a rating of 350 psi. So we didn't want to operate on the limits of these particular pumps, which are pushing out 290 psi and above. So we have a 350 psi working pressure from our particular hose produced for us here. Hose reels, there's different combinations. This particular setup has an additional water reel, so this will be in addition to the pricing and links below. We have 50 metres of 5/8 16 mil hose. So this particular P40 is putting out 40 litres a minute at 290 psi, all quick change. So our big washdown gun will be quick change with our quick release fittings, and this is 350 psi at 60 litres per minute, and our other SoftWash gun is 360 psi at 70 litres per minute. So well capable of keeping up with this Honda P40. Let's take a look at what's driving this Tsunami system, and that's all powered by Midwest, market leaders in proportioners and remotes, and I wanted to run you through the plumbing and setup. So if we come around here and have a look at this particular proportioning system, which is the brains behind this SoftWash equipment here. So you can see all the information, as I said below, and we're powered here by an XL unit. So the proportioners come in an array of sizes and configurations to suit different pump sizes. So we have a petrol powered, gas powered system. So we have a return, and we'll talk about that and run you through that particular system. So if we're batch mixing or running a 12 volt system, we wouldn't have a return. The valves on this, we're running 3/4 19 mil suction lines. So we're running 3/4 to the tank, water tank to the bleach tank. We're running little quarter suction hoses to our soap tank. So we're set up with 2 soap valves. One is on a remote control, so the particular remote control unit, which is also doubles up as our flush valve, controls one of the soaps through the remote control system. We're able to dial up the concentrations and percentages by rotating each particular valve. We have our water in, our 2 soaps. So only having one on the remote, one soap or surfactant or neutralising agent will be a manual selection. The other is controlled by the remote. And then we also have our chem valve, which we can dial 1 to 6% on that particular valve. That chem valve is supplied by a 3-way valve on the back of this particular unit. So we'll go around there and talk about that now. Coming out, or our main suction in to our P40, is our 1-inch feed line. So that's a suction port going back to our pump inlet on the P40, which is also 1 inch. Let's go around, let's talk about the 3-way remote control valve. So on the other side, we have our remote control system. So a 3-way valve controlled through the remote application. Quite simple. So the effectiveness of this, we can get sort of 50 to 80 metres at the back of a house. So the range is quite substantial. we have our soap valve. So that's an on-off solenoid operated valve. It doesn't necessarily have a dedicated inline, but will control the suction of soap from a soap tank. On this particular system, we only have one soap under remote. So the other soap, as I mentioned previously, will be a manual selection. So on the three-way valve, and if we don't have this particular remote function, we can add in a manual valve, and this is an optional upgrade on this particular system. But if you're going full hog on a system like this, having this remote flush is absolutely pick of the bunch. So the remote flush valve has 3 ports. One port on the back end will go to a water tank. The other will go to the chemical tank. So we have water on one side to our water tank. On the other side, we have a port going to our chemical SH tank. The outlet of that particular valve will go to our chemical valve on our proportioner. So if we toggle the remote, we can either flick between sucking from our SH tank or sucking from our water tank. So we're either going to put SH or water directly to the outlet of this particular valve, which is going to go to our chemical valve on our proportioner. So that is the simple control of a chemical application or a rinse at 290 psi with a single hose to carry out your house washing, your building facade cleaning. The bypass valve, which we also talked about on the proportioner, is super critical, and we're running, I would suggest, a minimum of 8 meters from a bypass perspective, which is in a controlled loop, a closed loop running back to the bypass of this particular relief valve. So like a pressure cleaner, you have limited time if you're in a closed loop on your bypass, on your pressure cleaner, where if you're not having fluid flow through the pump, that you need to turn the particular system off. So that 8 to 10 meters of relief bypass hose is acting as a radiator for heat dispersal. So if you wanted to take this one step further, that closed loop of hose could be thrown into the water tank through uni-seals, which will help disperse heat, and you would expect, you wouldn't want to go over 10 minutes of operation without shutting down your unit and not having fluid flow. So if you could aim at 5, maximum of 10 minutes before you need to shut down your particular pump. Our 1 inch on the inlet to the P40 comes directly, which is our suction port from the top of the manifold. So all on vibration isolator plates, which will limit vibration and long-term longevity. The particular pump configuration, P40, could be P36. This is operating at 290 psi. We could drop back to P36, which is also a fantastic unit, or if you like the AR pump, we could go AR there as well. The pressure relief valve or pressure regulating valve is controlled on the top, so that's normal, which you'll be probably familiar with a current pressure cleaning system. Our flow control valve, we're able to control the flow. What we like to do normally is probably leave that in the open position, and if you wanted to control flow, we can just adjust the RPM on this particular engine to monitor and maintain that. Let's go around the back. So follow us around. So the skids are designed as multi-configurations, so they can grow with your business. So if you started with a 12 volt system, and we can set up a 12 volt batch mix or 12 volt proportion system in this skid, you can add a proportioner, you can add a remote, and it'll allow you to grow within your business. But this top of the range system comes coupled with a 150 litre SH tank and 2 soap tanks. So one soap tank will be on a remote and the other will be manual selection. So inside the SH tank we have strainers. So they're coupled up with titanium clamps which will aid in corrosion and rusting. So that's going to strain your SH. Each soap tank has another strainer which will help alleviate blockages as well. So the configuration, 150 litre, 225 litre soap. Even on this particular skid, we're going to have options where that can be a 200 litre water tank and a 100 litre chemical tank with remote soap tanks. So everyone operates differently, and we can customise this to suit you, but this will be a standard setup with the 150 litre chem tank and 2 soap tanks. Uni seals that we're using, lots of different sizes. Our main size of suction hose will be 1/2 inch and 3/4 vacuum hose. Our pressure line, which is 16 mil or 5/8, comes from our pressure outlet on the back of our P40 pump going to our hose reel. We're using all top quality clamps, full stainless steel band clamps. We've moved away from the worm drive, and you're going to get better control and a safety aspect of using those particular clamps. The addition of the water hose reel is in addition to pricing that you'll see in various locations. So do ask us if you wanted 2 hose reels mounted on the back, and there will be options in hose reels to suit your different configuration. The bypass valve or bypass hose we have tucked in here. So minimum of 8 metres, preferably 10 metres. So that's our radiator and our heat discharge from our pump when we do take our hand off the trigger. It is a closed loop, and we could drop that back into a water tank. So in this configuration, the skid is 1200 by 1500. So we're going to need a remote water tank on this particular system. The P40 is quite thirsty at around 40 litres per minute. So having a large water tank will suffice to carrying out those particular SoftWash tasks. So the hoses on this particular water tank will have 2 inlets. They'll both be uni seals at the top, or you could bulkhead fitting accordingly. So one of the 19 mil suction hoses will go to our 3-way valve, which is a chem water mix into our chemical valve on our proportioner, and the other water hose will go to our water inlet on our XL proportioner from Midwest. So I did mention the comfort pack. So this particular unit or Honda does come as a GX200 with a key start. For a few dollars less, it can be a manual pull start. So all those options we can tailor to suit you. What we're going to do now is take it outside, and we're going to fire it up. We're going to do some distance shooting with the large rinse gun and the J-rod to show you how the particular system does operate and put it through its paces. Okay guys, let's run this through a product demonstration. So just to recap, this 1200 by 1500 long skid with a remote water tank. So being quite a thirsty machine at 40 litres a minute, the bigger the water tank the better. So 600 or 1000 litres, whether that's trailer mounted or truck mounted, would be absolutely ideal. We're not shooting any chems here today. 150 litre SH tank, 225 litre soap tanks, and this is a 200 litre water tank. I'll follow you around to the proportioner. So this particular system will pull chem like there's no tomorrow. So to recap, powered by Midwest proportioning system. So the variable metering valves, you're able to control the amount of chem required to do the particular task. One soap is on remote, the other soap is manual, and we can dial up the chems, the SH and soap, which is injected into the chemical valve, or if we are on a water rinse, through the remote module, we can flick over and put water through the chem valve to carry out our particular rinse. And flicking between that is as simple as pushing the button on the remote control unit. So quite simple. Let's fire this bad girl up and we'll give you some product demonstrations. So we'll shoot out between the two particular guns. So we have the standard J-rod, which we're all familiar with, and our bleach gun. We'll also fire up the big rinse gun and give you a understanding on how these two particular systems do work. We'll just go for a start. A little bit of wind here today, but as you know, in Melbourne, if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. So we have the J-rod. I'll just give you a demonstration of the flow regulator. So I can adjust the flow by relieving the flow regulator. So you can see that there, back on. I can also adjust the flow by adjusting the engine up here. And we can wind that right back. There we go. So a couple of different nozzles, larger nozzle. A smaller pencil jet. We'll go for some height, just over 9 metres. And you can see there that I'm firing up probably 1 or 2 metres above that. The impact from that 290 psi onto that wall is quite substantial. That's the smaller pencil jet. I'll flick over to the larger one. Bit more flow, shoot again. So the flexibility of this petrol powered unit is quite substantial. A couple of different size fan jets. And you can see there quite a lot of flow. I'll show you the big rinse gun. I'll just shut it down, I'll swap over. Go for a start. So from a pencil jet to a fan. From low flow to high flow, from high flow to low flow. So with that break-in wind, you must be pushing sort of 10-11 metres at a max. So you can hear that and you can see that, and that's hitting with quite a punch. So from a rinse down, from a two-story perspective, you're going to fly through an external clean. And just to recap, from a chemical application to a rinse. It's as simple as a flick of the remote control going from chem to rinse. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, guys, on this SoftWash equipment by us here at Blue Tongue Industries, powered by Comet, Honda, and of course Midwest. All the links I'll put below where you can find out information on these particular systems. There's quite a few variations from 12 volt, whether it's a batch mix, 12 volt proportioned system, petrol powered, gas powered like this particular system on our websites. Please check out our other videos on our playlists. If you like this one, please subscribe, please give it a thumbs up. We really appreciate you watching. Check below for more information, and we'll catch you on